afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to welcome to you the playoff round medal games of the 2019-2020 World Junior Ski Curling Championships, and the winner-lose teams operating on this floor. A reminder before we introduce the teams for this draw that you are asked to switch your mobile phones to different, and you are welcome to take
Hello and welcome to the World Junior B Curling Championships 2019-2020. It is our final live stream broadcast today. This round will be featuring the bronze game between the France and Germany men, and we'll also do our best to show you the game between Denmark and Hungary, who are also playing for the bronze in this tournament. If you haven't been following the World Junior Bs yet, the reason we're showing you the bronze games is the top 3 go through to the World Junior Curling Championships this spring, and the top 2 teams from the men and women have already qualified. And just quickly, I will let you know that on the sheet next to us, Italy and Sweden are playing for the gold in the men's competition, so they have already qualified for the World Junior Worlds. And the women's side, Latvia and Japan are playing in the gold game. And before the final rocks of the first end are thrown, let me just go through the players of the teams quickly. In the German team, we've got Benjamin Kapp as an alternate, a familiar last name to a lot of players probably, a lot of Kapps that we've seen on the ice for a lot of years for Germany actually. And lead, we have Magnus Suter. The second player is Jan-Luca Haag. The third is Joshua Suter. And fourth, Sixten Totzek. And their third player is also the vice skip of the team, and their fourth is the skip. For France, we've got Merlin as an alternate. I'm not going to even try to say that last name. I'm sorry. And then lead, we've got Léo Toise. Second, Kylian Godin. Third, Eddie Mercier. And Eddie is also the skip of the team. And fourth player, Quentin Morad, who is also the vice skip. And things looking pretty good for Germany in the first here. They've taken ice to just get that simple draw and take a 2 from the first with their hammer. So they will be drawing onto that yellow that we already have in the house, just to have a bit of backing for that final draw in the beginning of the game. And a good start from Germany to the game, 2 with the hammer. And the girls have started with a score of 1 for Hungary in the bronze game over there. And we will make sure that we try to show you the games next to our featured sheet. So mainly we'll be following sheet D as we have been all week, but we will do our best to provide you footage from all the games. Germany have had a great week here in Lohja. They have won all of their round-robin games, but took their first loss against Italy just this morning in the semi-final game. So an excellent week for them, and really one of the top teams in the guys throughout the whole week. And France has had a slightly more uneven week. Some great games, but a little bit up and down. Took a few losses during the round robin, but they've won the games that matter, and they find themselves in the bronze game. So we're hoping this will be an interesting one. Germany again doing really well with the setup here, taking control of that center line almost, and the top of the house. And with their second one, I think their plan was to split the house, get it on top of that red one, and use the red just to have something for Germany to jam against if at some point Germany is going to go for a takeout of that rock out there on the left-hand side. And an unfortunate rolling out there after the takeout for Germany. So France is going for that takeout of the yellow rock in the back of the house just to keep things simple for the second end. They didn't get the guards that they were maybe hoping for with their first, so just planning to keep this end simple and make sure Germany doesn't have a chance to score or force them a score of 1 in this end. If at any point during the broadcast, if you have any comments about the volume level of the commentary or from the games, or if you have any questions regarding the rules of the game, feel free to write them down in the live chat and I will do my best to help out. as we're waiting for the last shots of this end, I see people have requested to see the women's final, so Japan, Latvia. But unfortunately, we don't have the camera angle for that sheet. We don't have room for the on-ice camera, and our ceiling camera doesn't quite turn that way. We can show it a little bit, and if there's anything really exciting going on, we'll try to make sure you guys get a glimpse of that. But we've mainly been featuring and focusing on sheets D and C, just to give you a better view of what's going on. And I see there were more questions about why we're showing the bronze medal games from this. It was a decision by the competition organizers because this is the game that matters for both of the girls and the boys. Italy and Sweden from the men's side and Latvia and Japan from the women's side have already qualified for the Worlds. I wish we could show you all of them. Hopefully next year we'll have cameras that can cover the entire 6 sheets or some kind of other system, so you'll be able to follow all of them. But we'll make sure that we keep you updated on what's going on, and if there's anything really interesting going on, we'll try to get you a view of that. And if you want to take a look at the game on the right, girls yelling really hard to get that rock past. Denmark was throwing against 3, what it looks like at least, or maybe two Hungarian rocks in the house there, and Denmark does have the hammer in this end, so still a chance to save it for them. So not as bad as it looks like at the moment. And in the men's game, France takes a 1, and we move on to the third end. And finally, we've got a guard in place, so I think the game will start now. We'll see a little bit more rocks in play, and we're going to move away from the takeout game. Both of the teams are feeling warmed up and getting ready to play now. Changing our camera angles here slightly just to get you a view of the game between Sweden and Italy as well, hopefully. Feel free to comment on the live chat if it looks like it still needs a bit of adjustment. Italy and Sweden are just getting ready to start the next end, so you'll be starting to see some footage of what's going on in that house in the third end as soon as they get the game going again. The same thing with the Denmark-Hungary game. So in that one, the score is 2-0 after 2 ends, and they are getting ready to start the next one, and Hungary is leading there 2-0. In the game you requested, guys, on sheet A, which we're unfortunately not able to show you, just our camera doesn't quite tilt that way. We've got Latvia and Japan has taken a 3 from the second end, so the score there is 3-0 for Japan. And getting back to our featured game, nice setup there by France for a steal. Germany now starting to open things up a little and try to make sure they have a path to get to the house. And a nice rock there by France. Maybe a little bit further in the house than they would have wanted. I think the goal might have been to guard that double, so it maybe overcurled slightly. And Germany's got a few options there for a double now, depending on how they hit it. With these teams that are able to throw a little bit more weight, you don't want to leave the rocks too close to each other just to avoid them getting an easy double out of it. Pretty good shot there by Germany, not exactly what they were looking for, but moves the rocks around nicely in the house for them. So considering Germany's got hammer in this end, France is now really thinking about, do we want to be brave and try to steal against a couple of German rocks in the house, or do we want to try to do something about these yellows? Should we go for a takeout and make sure we don't take big risks at this point in the game? The rocks are pretty nicely placed for Germany there. The yellow that you see left of the central line is pretty much hidden behind the guard, and the one in the back of the house, that's covered by the red that France has got on the top 4 foot. So France really needs to think about what they want to do here. If they go for control weight type of takeout, maybe just through the house weight, there's always a risk of catching a guard or hitting something else in the house, and that will give Germany a great opportunity to be getting a 3 from this if they make all of the rest of their shots and France is not able to make a double. So it looks like France has chosen to go for a control weight takeout of the yellow rock in the back, working really hard. And just gets it, so it's good enough. They probably did want to make sure they stick around in the house, but I don't know if even with that weight, if that was an option. So with this strategic choice, if Germany's able to take out this one and hit and stick their own in the house, they are looking at taking a 2 from this unless France can make that double happen at some point. France again working really hard, trying to get a really nice hidden roll off of this. They just get their own one on the left-hand side of the house, and looking at our footage here, it looks like Germany is still maybe lying shot, but I can't be quite sure. And a nice shot there by Germany. Does give France the opportunity for a nice hit and roll here as well. They were really close with their previous one, just over curled slightly. And a nice shot there by Quentin Morard. Unfortunately, it looks like Germany will be able to get to it. And if Germany gets this hit and roll right, it'll be pretty challenging for France with their last rock. For the hit and roll, if Germany does decide to go for it, there is a slight risk of the red one bouncing off of the other red back into the house if they don't play this with heavy takeout weight. But we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, in the women's game, things are looking a lot better for Denmark. In this end, they're down by 2 at the moment, and it looks like they've got a really good rock on the forefoot at the moment. Germany working really hard on this one. It curled a lot more than they expected, and just are able to get that. And France, by Skip and Skip, are now considering their options for the last rock. It looks like they have chosen to go for a draw. There are some risks involved if they did decide to go for the takeout of that yellow rock there on the white rings, just touching the white rings. If it curls too much, they might be jamming onto their own one. And it is almost fully buried, so they won't be seeing a lot of it from the hack.
tehdä kuvakotoa kyllä tässä.
Ai mitä?
Siis mulla on näitä valmiiksi, että mä nousin.
And a great shot by Quintin Morard there. Really well swept by the rest of the team. It's not showing a lot, so Germany has definitely has a chance for a 2 here, but not the easiest shot. And there is a slight risk involved too, if they go with kind of through the house weight, as they probably will be throwing. They want to tap it out enough, and if it did happen to overcurl, they could catch the yellow on the white rings and move that out as well, enough to maybe give France a chance of even a steal of 2. So hopefully the line is good for Germany here. They are working really hard just to keep this straight enough, and it looks like line is pretty good. Weight looks pretty good as well, and they tap it just enough to take another score of 2 with their last rock. Great shot there by the German team and their skip Sixten Totzek. So after 3 ends, Germany leading 4-1 against France in the bronze medal game. And the reason we're showing the bronze medal games to you today is the bronze medal winner also gets the last spot for the World Junior Championship next spring. And we've decided to show you the last 3 shots of the Denmark-Hungary game. As you can see, interesting stuff going on over there. Denmark skip playing her first shot of this end now, and looks like that leaves Denmark lying 4 before the last rock of the Hungarian skip. And this is the women's bronze game we're showing you now. We'll just take a look at the last 2 shots of that and show you what's going on in the men's games with our on-ice camera, and then we'll swap the main camera to the men's game. And a beauty there by the Hungarian skip. They really needed that hidden roll to bail themselves out of trouble, but it looks like Denmark does have a shot there for a short run back, so they would use their own rock to get rid of the yellow. There's a little bit of separation of that yellow shot rock and the red rock behind it, so if Denmark gets the angle right, they should be able to get rid of it. In the process, they will probably lose their own rock that they're promoting onto it, but they might leave the rock on the back forefoot or the other way around. We'll see what happens. And as soon as this rock is done, we'll switch the overhead camera back to the men's game. Nyt voit näyttää tuota tyttöä. And a beautiful shot there by the Danish skip. Evening things out there. Didn't quite see if it was 2 or 3 or even more there. We'll see what the umpire puts up on the board. And we will now be switching on to the men's game with our overhead camera as well. And it looks like in the women's bronze game it was only 1 for Denmark with that. There must have been a Hungarian rock there somewhere that I didn't see from my angle. And meanwhile, in our featured game, things looking really good for Germany at the moment. Nice setup and controlling the top of the house and the center line. And a really nice shot there by Benjamin Kapp. Before our broadcast started, I told you Kapp was playing as the alternate of the team, and it looks like he's on the ice today. Might have been in the previous draws as well, but unfortunately we don't have access to the lineups very easily. A really nice hit and roll there by Kapp. An equally good hit and roll there by France. They roll kind of beautifully between the 2 yellow ones over there, so if Germany does want to get rid of that, they will end up moving their own one in the process as well. Germany decides to leave it as it is and get rid of the guard on the left. And in this situation, Germany leading 4-1, not a bad call at all. Keeping things simple that way. And a quick update from the other games for you guys. So Italy-Sweden men's gold medal game is now 2-2. We've seen some great shots over there. And Latvia-Japan is 3-1 for Japan at the moment. And good effort there by France. Probably not the end result they were looking for. They need rocks to stick around in the house, so probably didn't get the weight and angle absolutely perfect there. It does leave the German rocks in a position that if France is able to play onto that, they will leave their own rock in a good position. So with this score at the moment, they really need to have a lot of rocks in play, just tap them around, move them around. And Germany has been really smart in taking out the guards that France was able to play, not giving them a lot of opportunity to create chance for a bigger end, moving things around behind those guards. And another good shot there by Germany. Our French skip not in an enviable position, having to decide what to do when Germany's really controlling the game at the moment. The French sweeper working hard to get more curl onto this one. Well, it certainly improved things a little bit for France, but unfortunately the rock that was just played didn't stick around, and that's really what France needs here. But at least they were able to move the German rocks to the back of the house now, so it may give them a chance to maybe go for a freeze later on in the end and try to get that opportunity for a score of 2 that way. But the German skip Totzek is likely going for a draw to the top 12 or top 8 at the moment, trying to keep it close to the center line, and with this shot make sure that he guards their yellow there on the forefoot that's almost touching the button. And a perfect line there by the German skip. Unfortunately, maybe a little bit too deep in the house. They probably wanted to leave it somewhere around the top 8 or top 12. So it does give France an opportunity to maybe just move them around and make sure that they leave their own rock in a good position. Looks from where we're sitting, it looks like France might even be able to get to the left-hand side of that yellow that Germany just played there. Get a sort of a double. They won't care about whether they get rid of those rocks completely. What's important here is that they get their own red rock in a good position that will leave something very challenging for that German skip for his last rock. Unfortunately, though, not the line France was looking for here. It needed to curl quite a bit more to get a good end result for them. So gets rid of one of the German rocks, but rolls out in the process. And Germany gets a new chance to put a little bit more pressure on. And they're looking at playing that one onto pretty much where Totzek just played his previous one. So top 4, make sure it's pretty much in the same line as it was before. And a great shot there again by the German skip. They put it pretty much exactly where they discussed. And looking at where France is holding the broom, their choice for this last rock is a double out of those yellow ones. And it looks a little bit like they do need to get that double. If they just hit this one straight on, they might leave their own red only second shot. So they do need to get the double with this shot, I think. And a nice shot. France really needed to get that to stay in the game. So as we go to our 4th end break, the score is 4-2 for Germany. And when we get back for the 5th end, Germany will be playing with the hammer. And correction, it was a score of 2 for France out of this one. So really evening out the game. It is 4-3 for Germany after 4 ends. And gives me a chance to give you a quick update on what's going on in the other sheets. Total score in the Italy-Sweden game is still 2-2 after 3 ends. So there was a score of 1 from the 3rd end, and they are on to the last rocks of the 4th end, so they're heading to the break as well. Latvia and Japan already having their break, and it is right in front of the scoreboard, so I will update that one for you as soon as I get a visual of that. And also in the Denmark-Hungary game, things are looking interesting. Denmark lying 1, and looks like it is pretty well buried. So looking pretty good for a steal of 1 for Denmark from this end. With their last rock here, that is just sliding down the ice. It looks like Denmark might be playing another draw to the kind of just right side of the center line. So going behind their own guard over there. And that might have overcurled slightly, or the goal was to get a guard over there and they just played that off of the other guard that was already in play. But it did look to me like it was an attempt to draw another one into the house. But nicely played there. Good line call now that it overcurled. because they did get a pretty good guard out of that. And in the Italy-Sweden game that you're able to see, Italy right now in control. Sweden is not quite sure if that red rock that's in the back of the house, they're not quite sure if that's in the house, so if it's in play. And Sweden are discussing what their last shot of this end will be. Looking at where they're holding the broom, they might be opting to just take out that red rock in the back. So they want to make sure that it's only a score of 1, a steal of 1 for Italy from this. Or they might be choosing to draw. Yeah, they have chosen to go for a takeout. So they want to make sure that they don't risk giving Italy a score of 2 from this. So over there, as they head to the 4th end break, Italy is leading Sweden 3-2 after 4 ends. And we took the opportunity during the break to try to get you a view of the Japanese game going on our first sheet closest to us. We're able to get it a little bit, but that's the best we can do. To the other end, it might be a bit more of a challenge, but we'll try to get you a chance to have a look at what's going on all the 4 sheets. And in our other bronze medal game, the girls have gone on to their break, but Denmark did take a steal of 1 from the 4th. So the score there between Denmark and Hungary is now 2-2. And with the first rocks of this end coming into the house, it looks like both of the teams have opted to keep things simple for the first end after the break. So we're now playing the fifth end of this bronze medal game between France and Germany. And looking at the game at the moment, it looks like this end will be mostly just simple takeouts, and Germany will be attempting to keep the hammer, take a score of 0 from this one, but still a lot of rocks to come, and there might be some mistakes ahead that will give either one of the teams a chance to score from this. And nice work here with the takeouts from both of the teams. Hopefully for the next end we see a little bit more chances being taken. It's a pretty even game so far with a 4-3 score. France took a very important deuce in the fourth to even things out a little bit, and now neither one of the teams not taking any big chances, just keeping things simple here for the fifth end. And as you can see, some of the games on sheet C and D, so Denmark, Hungary and Italy, Sweden have come back from the break. And the scores over there are 2-2 for Denmark-Hungary game, so that's the women's bronze medal game that is playing right next to us. And one sheet away is the Italy-Sweden men's final, where Italy's leading 3-2 after 4 ends. And Sweden made the smart call of making sure they didn't give Italy a chance for a score of 2 from the fourth. So didn't try to outdraw them. Italy was laying a pretty good draw on the forefoot there, and just opted to take out a rock that they could see fully that wasn't buried, because coming back from a 3-2 lead is much easier for Sweden than if the score would have been 4-2. And as you can see, and as requested, we're able to show you a little bit what's going on in the Japan game, but unfortunately that is the best angle we're able to get. So the game that you see on the very left hand side, that's a little bit blocked by our graphics board, is the women's gold medal game, Latvia versus Japan. And the score in the women's gold medal game is 3-1 for Japan at the moment. So they've taken a 0 in the fourth end. And for this fifth one, Japan has got the hammer. And in our featured game, we're down to the skip rocks of the 5th end. And with his last one, Sixten Totzak is drawing onto the right-hand side of the house. He had really nice draw weight in the 4th end, so it looks like he's really got that down, and it is perfectly on the tee line again. And Franz just going for a simple takeout here. Maybe hoping to get a bit of a roll onto the central line to try to give more of a challenge for the German skip for his last rock. That would be a takeout, but the French working this one really hard. So they just get it and roll out. So what we'll be seeing from Sixten here is just playing the rock through the house, making sure they keep the hammer for the 6th end. So after 5 ends, Germany leading 4-3. Germany will have the hammer in the 6th end. And as the Germans and the French are building up this end, setting things up with the lead rocks, we'll be showing you some on-ice footage of where their rocks finish, and meanwhile we'll try to cover for a few rocks on what's going on with the women's game, Denmark-Hungary, and Italy-Sweden men's game, and hopefully you'll be able to catch a glimpse of that Japan-Latvia game there too on the left. And we'll place guard there in our featured game by France. So they're really going for that steal now in the 6th end, trying to even out the game. Things looking great for Denmark again. As we're soon heading to the skip rocks. We're still, both of the third players still got 1 rock to play in that game. And Italy seems to be playing really well at the moment in the men's final. They've got 3 lying on the forefoot. Sweden having to play some challenging peels and runbacks at the moment just to be able to get to the house. And a nice double peel there by the Swedish third player. But still, Italy absolutely in control of that end. And in the women's game, as the Hungarian rock was coming down, Denmark was lying 5 in the house, and Hungary really doesn't get the result they wanted there. Their rock rolls out. They're just able to get rid of one of the Danish rocks in the house, and we're down to the skip rocks of that end. And depending on what's going on in our featured game between France and Germany, we'll try to show you how that end finishes, because it's looking great for Denmark at the moment and very, very challenging for Hungary. And France doing a really good job there setting up the steal in our featured game. They're in control of the top of the house. Germany's got a couple rocks in the back of the house that might come into play later on. Germany now looking whether they want to try to go for a double straight out of the rocks in the house, or whether they want to just peel that guard. So they're trying to decide which one of those options would maybe benefit them more, and whether that guard is really the issue here. So they just get a simple peel of the guard. France still lying 2 in the house. And Sweden making things a lot easier. Alberg plays a great takeout, and things are looking a lot better for them than they did before. And in our women's game, the Hungarian skips first rock coming down the ice, and not enough curl again. They were going for a hidden roll from the right, and they're able to just get rid of one of the Danish rocks. And before the last rocks of the skips in that game, Denmark's already lying 4 in the house. They're now discussing what their next option is going to be, and looking at maybe drawing another one into the forefoot. And we've now switched back to the featured sheet with our overhead camera, but we'll make sure to show you what happens in the game between Denmark and Hungary, because things are looking great for Denmark, very tough for Hungary at the moment in this end. So we'll make sure to show you the final shots of that end later on. Okay, so just a quick view of what's happening in the Denmark-Hungary game. Denmark discussed their last shot option at length. They were really looking at what are the best promotions that Hungary has from their own blocks, own guards over there, and they chose to play a guard, make sure Hungary doesn't have a lot of good options there. So Hungary's looking at a very tough last shot, whether it'll be a tap pack or some kind of promotion takeout with their last one, because the guard is really, really far away from the house. So definitely not a nice position to be throwing in for the Hungarian skip. She has been playing some great last shots, so hopefully she'll be able to narrow things down a little bit, because right now Denmark is looking at a steal of 4 in that end. And the girls are sweeping really hard for line and give up just before it hits. So unfortunately it overcurls, and it looks like it will be a steal of 4 for Denmark. So the time that they took planning that last shot over there seems to have been worthwhile. So if indeed it was a steal of 4, the score over there is 6-2 for Denmark against Hungary in the women's bronze game. And that's after 5 ends. And Italy and Sweden have also finished the 5th end over there. And Italy is taking another steal in a row. It was a steal of 1. So Italy leading 4-2 in the men's gold medal game against Sweden at the moment. In our featured game, France done a good job of putting pressure on Germany in this 6th end. Unfortunately, though, there are no guards in play, and still a few more rocks to come. So Germany does have a chance of taking out a few of those that are in the house at the moment. They go for a heavyweight takeout and probably don't quite get the result they were looking for there. They leave their own rock in a relatively good position, but we're really hoping to get at least a double out of the French rocks in the house and not jam onto their own one. Luckily, though, for Germany, they do have the hammer in this end. There's no guards in play, so with all the backing that the French rocks are providing in the house, it might even end up being 1 or 2 for Germany, depending on how the French takeouts work out in the end of this end. France is able to get rid of that yellow in the house, and Germany really thinking about what's our best takeout here so that we leave our own rock in a position that will be quite challenging for France, and leaves a chance of then jamming that yellow onto the red ones at the back of the house. Germany choosing to go for a hit and roll off of that red one on the forefoot, and really discussing carefully how much they want the rock to roll after it hits, so that the line will be as good as possible and the shot that they will leave for France will be as challenging as possible. German skip calling hard for the line, trying to get the rock to curl a little bit more, but unfortunately they didn't get the curl they were looking for over there. It rolls quite a bit too much, and France is lying 3 at the moment and looking to put their last one on the top 4, top 8 in front of the rocks that they already have in the house, trying to make that final draw as difficult as possible for Germany. Definitely a good end by France here. They've put in a lot of pressure on Germany, placed their guards well, and had good draw weight throughout the end. And Denmark came back really strong after the break. As I say this, they have just missed a peel of the guard, but other than that, they've placed their rocks really nicely in the house and keeping things very simple as they are leading the women's bronze medal game 6-2 after their previous steal of 4 in the 5th end. And a really nice last rock there by Quentin Morard, and France definitely putting the pressure on Germany here in this 6th end in the men's bronze medal game. So German skip having to throw against 4 French rocks in the house with his last one here. Looks like they're going for a takeout with this one. And looks to me like they will need to get a double out of those red ones to make sure they take that score of 1 from this. And they've chosen to take a little bit less ice for this one, as the previous shot didn't curl quite enough. And line looking pretty good for this one. Gets that double. Great shot there by Sixten Docek. Good sweeping and line calling by the team as well. And with that, Germany takes a 5-3 lead after 6 ends in the men's bronze medal game. And so the bronze medal winner in this competition will be the last team that will get a spot in the World Junior Championships. And you can probably hear a bit of clapping on the background. It is our audience cheering for Team Japan, who has won the competition. They've taken a steal of 1 in the 6th, and they had started their 7th end, but not quite sure what happened there. but the final score of that game is 7-1 for Japan. So Japan is this year's winner of the World Junior B Curling Championship, and Latvia will be taking the silver medal. And both of these teams have qualified their country to the World Junior Championships next spring. So 3 more games going on. Japan and Latvia are done. Japan has won the competition in the women's side, and we'll be showing you some of the last rocks of what's going on in the Denmark-Hungary game, so the women's bronze medal game. Denmark took a solid lead with their steal of 4 in the 5th after a great end, and there is now the first one of the Hungarian skip rocks coming down the ice. Meanwhile, in our featured game, our leads are playing really well at the moment. Perfect setup there by the German lead Suter, and an equally good guard on the right side of the center line by the French lead. Denmark discussing their options at length again, so we'll swing our camera back to our featured game. And here you see the last rock of the Danish team coming down. Really well placed. So what they've done here, they have left a double for Hungary, and if she gets this, it should be a score of 2 for Hungary. But not the easiest double. They're pretty much in line. So to be sure, you stick your own one in the rock somewhere, in the house somewhere. You can't play it with too much weight. So definitely quite a challenging double, a good choice here by Team Denmark. And Hungary's decided the double's not the way to go here. What they're going to try to do is get straight on to that red one on the forefoot and tap it back. From where I'm sitting, it looks like Hungary's lying second shot at the moment. So if Hungary is able to tap this one back, it should be a score of 2 for them if they're able to tap it back enough. And meanwhile, in our featured game, the timeout that Team Germany took has finished. And they decided to go for a guard there. And we'll show you image of the men's game in just a second. The last rock of the women's bronze medal game is coming down the ice. The Hungarian sweeper's working really hard. And it looks like it has unfortunately overcurled. And it taps a red rock back. And Denmark takes a steal of 2 from this. So another great end for Team Denmark in that game. Looks like they're still continuing play over there. It is a solid lead for Denmark at the moment, so it's 8-2 at the moment in the women's bronze medal game. No, after a bit of a discussion, Hungary has decided that's enough for us today, and Denmark takes that final spot in the Junior Worlds next spring. And an unfortunate fall there by one of the German sweepers. And moves the rock a little bit. So the teams are now discussing what happened and what would have happened. That's never a position a team wants to be in, having to decide where the rock would have finished, whether it would have been enough to just get it in the house, or if it would have moved enough to just get it out. Looks like they're having a friendly discussion about it, but it is a very important game for both of them, as it's the last spot in the Worlds that they're playing for. And the French team, who got to decide what happens here, has decided that the German rock looked pretty good. It would have taken out the French rock and would have stayed in the house. So great sportsmanship there by the French, not taking advantage of that perhaps an opportunity to decide where they place it. So really following the spirit of curling there and being truthful about what they thought would have happened there. And a quick update from our other games, if somebody's just tuned in. So Japan-Latvia gold medal final for women has finished, and Japan has won the tournament. In that final, Latvia is getting silver, and Denmark-Hungary finished also just minutes ago. Denmark beat Hungary in the women's bronze medal game 8-2 and took the final spot for women in the World Junior Championships. And meanwhile, we have switched the camera to the men's gold medal game. It looks like we'll maybe get a bit of a cool shot if he makes it. They're looking at playing a double for perhaps a score of even 4. Oh, nice shot. And moved enough, I think, to give Sweden a score of 3 with that. So beautifully judged, really good line calling. And you'll get an interview right now from the winning team of the Denmark game.
Matilde Halse, skip of Team Denmark, congratulations on your 3rd place. How do you feel right now?
Thank you. I feel amazing. I actually quite didn't believe in it, like after 3rd end, I guess. And we just played really well after that, and after the break we were really dominant, and just really happy to pull off the win and make it to the A division. That's so great.
You 3rd place in this competition. What's your goal for the A division championships in the spring in Russia?
Well, we haven't discussed it yet, of course, on the team, because we're just really focused on this event right now. But now it's over, and we're looking forward to the next event. We don't know who we're going to play yet. Haven't looked at it at all, so I don't know what our goal will be. But of course, we'll aim for the playoff. Always aim for the playoff. So hoping for a good tournament as well, and just looking forward to play us well with the girls again. They're just so good out there.
So it's safe to say that you're quite happy with your team's performance in this tournament?
Yeah, really happy. We've done really well in the group games, and in the playoff games we struggled a bit, but I think we really fought our way back after the loss to Japan, because that was just really close and we lost on the last rock. So just really, really happy to win this one, because last year we unfortunately lost the quarterfinals, so this year it's just so fantastic to play again and win as well. And also it's our last junior year for 2 of us, so we're just really happy to perform.
All right, congratulations again, and have a safe trip home to Denmark.
Thank you.
And welcome back to the image from our featured game. While you were listening to the interview, we just saw the French 3rd play an absolutely perfect draw to the behind the guards on the right-hand side of the house, as you can see. Really making the German team think about what they need to do with their next one. And the German skips agreed that the draw is the only call here, and that's what they've decided to go for with the first rock of the German skip Sixten Dotzek. And a really nice draw there by Sixten. They probably wanted it to curl just a little bit more, but it is pretty well placed at the moment. I think there is a slight chance to, if you get around that yellow guard, if you just get around it and the weight's absolutely perfect, France might be able to hit slightly on the right side of that yellow rock, which would be enough to tap it out and roll their own one to the right. But the line will have to be absolutely perfect on that one. If not, what they'll do, they'll end up hitting the yellow one and just leaving it there so it'll jam against the red one. So a really great shot there by Team Germany. And as our French skip is getting ready, a quick update from the scoreboard of the men's gold medal game. So Sweden just took a 3 with a great double from the 6th end, and the total score there is 5-4 at the moment for Sweden after 6. And in our featured game, French team working really hard on this one. And almost a really nice effort there. I think the line would have been good enough if they just gotten past that guard, but not a bad result at all. What it's done is opens up that yellow one, and France places another rock in the house. So I think the weight would have been really good too for that shot. And Team Germany now having a discussion as a team about what they want to do for this last one. This has placed a bit of pressure on Germany for this end because France has got the hammer, and with that result from the French skip Quentin Morard with his first shot, it has given France a bit of a chance for a score of 2. It won't come with an easy shot. They will definitely have to make something challenging, and that's what Germany is discussing at the moment. What's the toughest shot, but at the same time the least risky option that we can leave for France? And Germany seems to have chosen to go for a takeout, so they will use their own rock to get rid of that red that you see on the right hand side of the house. And they will be hoping to stick around with the yellow that they're throwing right now. So the rock that they're throwing at the moment will hopefully stick around on the left hand side of the house. And it's an absolute beauty. They get the double as well. A great shot there by Sixten Totzek. Absolutely perfect, and at a really important point in the game for them. It looked like France had a genuine chance there for a score of 2 before that. And now the French skip, Quentin Morard, having to throw against 3 for that score of 1. And Team France working hard on it, but it is looking pretty good. Yeah, great draw as well by Quentin Morard. French fourth player, well swept as well by the team. So we will move on to the last end with Germany leading 5-4, and Germany will also have the hammer for the last end. And we'll just briefly show you the last shot of the... No, sorry, I think it's the skip rock maybe in this Sweden-Italy game, and then we'll be moving the camera over to our featured game. The French lead played a beautiful center guard. Germany choosing to go for a tick shot of that, which was a really good effort. It was close. They were close to getting it right, but Team France is able to return the rock to the center line. Really nice draw there by France. Germany choosing to play it into the house with this one, hoping to get a bit of a dab of that red one France just put there. Still waiting for it to curl and sweeping for it to curl as well, but looking pretty good. Just gets that French rock out of the house. Really nice shot there by Germany. And France doing a really good job of placing their guards, a lot of separation between the guards and perfectly touching the center line, hoping that there'll be enough at some point to play that perfect draw in there and take a steal of one or hopefully even two for that win or the extra end. Germany just peeling the guards here at the moment, and France looking to replace them. And we'll just quickly show you the last rock of the gold medal game in the 7th end. So Italy hoping to maybe tap that one out and keep the hammer, or just hoping to draw for one, so that they will be going to the last end in a situation of 5-5. A great draw there by the Italian skip. So in our men's gold medal game, it'll be 5-5 before the last end, and Sweden will have the hammer. Meanwhile, in our featured game on sheet D, Germany just played a beautiful double peel of the French guards. So things looking pretty good for Germany at the moment. And another solid peel there by Team Germany, doing what they need to at this point to make sure they don't give France too many opportunities. And we're down to the last rock of the 3rd player at the moment, so both of the teams have got 3 more rocks to go in this end. And Team France taking this opportunity to discuss what's our best call for this one. Do we come into the house, or do we still go for a guard with this one and leave that draw for the skip rocks? In my opinion, Germany's been doing a great job with the peels and takeouts, and their skip too has had a couple of great doubles he's played throughout the game, so it might be worthwhile to use this shot still to go for a guard. Don't let Germany play into the house yet. If they get a chance for a heavier takeout with their next shot, even if France makes a successful freeze, it'll give Germany a chance to try to get rid of it. I think their players do have enough weight to throw. But here we see the French coach come onto the ice, give the boys a bit of advice. And you might have heard a bit of clapping there earlier on from the audience. And Sweden has just played an absolutely beautiful tick shot. You can see that red guard that's almost touching the sight lines. That was just moved there by the Swedish lead. It looks like France has made a decision there. Judging by where they're holding the broom at the moment, looks like they have decided to play it into the house, so they will be hoping to freeze that yellow one in the 8 foot there in the white rings. Weight's looking pretty good. They're calling for line a little bit as well, and the weight is absolutely beautifully judged, but unfortunately it surprises them with how much it curls. They weren't sweeping it the whole way, and I think it overcurled to what they were looking at. In the men's gold medal game, Sweden really close to another great double peel there. Just miss it, but get rid of one. And Germany uses this opportunity in our featured game to get rid of the guard. That's really the only chance France has of taking a 1 from this final end, where Germany has got the hammer. And with the first skip rocks, France choosing to put up another center guard where their vice skip is holding the broom. That's there where they pretty much wanted to finish. Nice shot there by Quentin Morard. Germany will proceed to take that one out. And with the last rock, France will have to do something about that yellow rock there in the house. Both of the teams are doing really well for time. France has been keeping up a great pace throughout the game. They've still got 5 minutes left to decide what they want to do with their last shot, and Germany as well, almost 2.5 minutes for that last shot. What France is looking at now is they will just play a takeout of that yellow, try to roll it onto the right, and what they are hoping for is Sixten Totzak to miss it just enough to give them a chance to go to an extra end. But with the way he's been throwing his takeouts and draws this game, I think it's a very likely chance that we'll see Germany win this game, but you never know. And France has to make this last shot as well. So what they're going for is get rid of the yellow, roll their own one a little bit to the right. France sweeping hard for line, trying to get it to curl a little bit more. And doesn't roll to where they wanted it to. It rolls on top of the other red, and Germany doesn't spend a lot of time thinking about this. Their skip is feeling pretty good. He can get rid of both of them. So what they want to do is they want to hit the right hand side of the first rock, so the inside of that, to get rid of both of them. And because of their 1 point lead, Germany won't care even if their own rock rolls out of the house. And Germany has qualified for the World Junior Championships next spring. Great effort by both of the teams in the last end. So the total score of our game, the final score of this game is 5-4 for Germany. And as we watch the German team celebrate, we'll try to catch one of the guys for an interview, but we'll still show you the last rocks of the Sweden-Italy game that is down to the skip rocks at the moment. But congratulations to Team Germany for qualifying to the Junior Worlds. And with the first of the Swedish skip rocks, they're going for a double peel of the guards. Sounding pretty good. Yep, well done again by the Swedish team. Both of the skips looked pretty happy, calling for line there. It was a little bit on and off, and that's always a positive sign. And Germany's just making their way behind me to the mixed zone where our interview is going to be. So soon you'll probably be hearing from them. And in the men's gold medal game, Italy now trying to get a really good draw on the right-hand side of the house behind those two guards that are just barely covering the house there on the right hand side.
Team Germany skip, Sixten Totja, congratulations on your bronze medal game. How do you feel right now?
Thank you. Yes, feels really good. We played maybe, yes, we lost 3 times now in the semi-final, and we know the situation really good, how it is to play for the bronze medal, and yes, I'm really happy right now.
Hugely important win for Team Germany. You qualified for the A Division World Championships, which are played in Russia next spring. You have any specific goals for the World Championships in the A Division now?
Yes, we have one goal, a medal, because Gianluca, our second, he is playing for his last time. That's why we need a medal for him.
Has the tournament, the whole tournament here gone as you guys expected?
Yes, we wanted the first, second, or third place, and doesn't matter which place, just that we qualified. And yes, we are happy.
Congratulations again, and good luck to World Championships.
Thank you.
So that concludes the final round from the World Junior B Curling Championship 2019-2020, and I will just quickly go through the podium teams for you. So in the women's gold medal game, Japan beat Latvia 7-1. So Japan gold, Latvia silver, and Denmark came back really strong after the break, took a couple of big steals against Hungary in the women's bronze medal game. So Denmark is the last women's team to make it to the World Junior Championship next spring. Hungary 4th place. In the men's competition, Sweden beat Italy in a very even final, 6-5. So Sweden gold, Italy silver, and in our featured game against Germany against France, Germany took that last spot in the Junior Worlds as well as the bronze medal. You can probably see a bit of commotion going on. The medal ceremony is just about to begin, and we will keep our live stream and cameras on for you, but we're not quite sure whether you'll be able to see the actual podium, but we'll keep the broadcast on for you in case somebody wants to at least listen. And from my behalf and from behalf of the Curling Finland YouTube channel, I hope you've enjoyed the live stream, and please feel free to leave any final feedback on this if you want, and should there be any future competitions coming up in Kesäkalja, we'll try to make sure we provide this broadcast for you also in the future. Thanks so much for watching, and as I said, we will leave the live stream on for you so that you can listen to the medal ceremony going on.
Matilde Hauser. I now call upon Paul Rissanen, President of Finnish Curling Association, to present the silver medals and gifts to the team of Latvia. Coach, Eva Krusta. Alternate, Leticia Levina. Judy, Erika Patricia Wittmender. Second, Veronica Abser. Third, Brasilia Levina. Last week, Evelina Barone. I now call upon Pekka Luoma, Chairman of Nokia City Council, to present the gold medals and gifts to Team Japan. Coach Mitsuki Sato. Alternate Liu Ueno. Lead Sai Yamamoto. Second, Yui Ueno. Third, Eri Omihara. Fourth, Minori Suzuki. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Japan. Now, time for the men. Please welcome the bronze medal winners, Team Germany. congratulate all the medal-winning teams for your achievement and also getting the place to the World Junior Championships next year. But at the same time, I would like to thank and congratulate all the teams and all the players that are present here. You should be proud to be part of this lovely sport and be proud to be here to represent your country, because very few people in the world have the chance to do that. So be proud of that. I would also like to thank World Curling Federation for trusting on us once again, and on a personal